If you are over 60 and your legs feel heavy the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning, the food doing the most damage is not what your doctor warned you about. It is not red meat. It is not eggs. It is the slice of white toast you eat with your coffee. White bread spikes your blood sugar nearly as fast as table sugar. And after 50, that surge stiffens your arteries the way wet leather dries into cardboard in the sun. That is one of 5 everyday foods quietly turning your blood into syrup overnight. By sunrise, it is moving through your veins like cold molasses through a clogged pipe. And there is one on this list, number 2, that 9 out of 10 folks I sit with eat every single week and swear is healthy. Hello, my brother. Hello, my sister. My name is Amadou Salori, and what I am about to share could give you back your mornings. It could give your wife or your husband back the partner they remember. It could let you walk to the mailbox without that pulling weight in your calves. Most doctors will not bring this up in the 7 minutes they have with you. It is not because they are hiding it. It is because there is no pill that fits this problem. The fix lives in your kitchen. For over 45 years, I have served my people through the plant medicine my grandfather taught me, the same medicine his grandfather taught him, going back 7 generations in our village. I am a traditional West African herbalist and master herbalist. Folks come to me here in the United States with tired legs, with cold feet at night, with that pulling weight they cannot explain. And the old ones taught me one thing above all else. They said all disease begins in the belly. The belly is the root, and from the root rises the tree of the body. My grandfather did not need a microscope to see this. He could read it in a person's eyes. Now hear me carefully, because this is the piece that changes everything I am about to teach you. Researchers at a university in California followed older adults for years and found something the old ones in our village already knew. After the age of 60, the body loses nearly half of the good bacteria that lived in the gut in younger years. Half. Gone. And those bacteria are the ones that quiet inflammation in the artery walls, that keep the blood thin and moving, that warm the feet at night. The 5 foods I am about to name do not just inflame your blood vessels. They burn the bacteria that protect them. So even if you clean up your plate tomorrow, there is a piece your body cannot fully rebuild on its own after 60. Hold that in your mind. We will come back to it. The order I share these foods in matters. Each one builds on the last, and the worst offender, the master food, is the one I save for the end. Stay with me until then. The food at number 1 is in nearly every American kitchen, and almost no one suspects it. Number 5, vegetable oil. The yellow bottles in the supermarket. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola, sunflower. Folks were told these were the heart-healthy choice. Margarine over butter? The old ones in my village would not have understood this. They cooked with red palm oil pressed by hand with shea butter from the trees behind the compound. These factory oils are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids. Think of them as kindling, stacked along the inside of your blood vessels. A little is fine, but when you eat them every day, in every fried thing, in every salad dressing, in every restaurant meal, the kindling pile grows. One bad night of sleep, one stressful afternoon, and the pile lights up. That is inflammation in the artery wall. After 60, your body's ability to put out that fire drops by nearly 40%. The cooling system is slower. The fire burns longer. The damage compounds while you sleep. The old ones in our village would have nodded and said, yes, this is what happens when you take the soul out of the food. They knew the oil pressed by hand carried life. The oil made in a factory with chemicals carries something else. Robert, a retired postal worker from Cedar Rapids, came to me last year, 68 years old. His legs felt like wet sandbags by 10 in the morning. He had been cooking with canola for 20 years because his doctor told him it was healthier. We swapped him to extra virgin olive oil and a small jar of grass-fed ghee for high heat. Within 10 weeks, the heaviness had reduced by about half. But here is what Robert told me 8 months in, and you need to hear this part. He said, Brother Amadou, the legs got better when I changed the oil, but they only fully came back when we rebuilt my belly. Remember that. We will return to it. The fix at number 5. Pour those yellow bottles down the drain. Use olive oil for everything cold and warm. Ghee or grass-fed butter for higher heat. Avocado oil if you want neutral. 3 oils. Throw the rest away. Pair this with 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed in your morning food. The flax brings cooling omega-3 to balance whatever omega-6 still lingers in your system. Now stay close because the next one fooled me for years. Number 4, deli meat. the pink slices wrapped in plastic, ham, turkey, roast beef from the counter, bologna, salami. Folks make a sandwich every day for lunch and call it a light meal. These meats are preserved with sodium nitrate and sodium nitrite, which can convert in the body into compounds called nitrosamines. Picture rust forming on the inside of an iron pipe. That is the kind of slow corrosion they create on the lining of your blood vessels. The lining is called the endothelium, the thin, smooth surface that lets blood glide through. When it roughens, blood does not glide. It drags. After 70, the endothelium repairs itself 30% slower than it did at 50. In our village, the meat came from the goat my uncle slaughtered that morning. Salted with sea salt, smoked over wood, eaten within 2 days. There was no pink slime in plastic. The grandmothers knew that meat preserved with chemicals was a different thing entirely. Speak with your doctor before changing anything if you are on a blood thinner or blood pressure medicine, because cleaning up your circulation can shift how those medicines work in your body. The fix? Buy a whole roasted chicken on Sunday. Pull the meat off. Slice it. That is your sandwich meat for the week. If you want beef, roast a small piece yourself and slice it thin. The taste is better. The price is often the same. Pair it with raw garlic if you can manage half a clove a day, crushed and rested for 10 minutes before swallowing. The resting wakes the medicine up. The old ones called it letting the medicine breathe. But the next one, my people, will ruffle some feathers, because nearly every senior I know reaches for it the moment they wake up. Number 3, morning fruit juice. Orange, apple, grape. The big jug in the fridge. Folks have been drinking a glass with breakfast since they were children. Their parents drank it. Their grandparents drank it. But the fruit juice you buy today is nothing like the orange your grandfather squeezed by hand. The fiber has been stripped out. What is left is sugar water with vitamins. A 12-ounce glass of orange juice has more sugar than a can of cola. Think of your bloodstream like a calm river. When sugar floods in this fast, with no fiber to slow it down, it is a truckload of mud dumped in clear water. The river thickens. It moves slower. It carries less oxygen to your feet, your hands, your brain. Your red blood cells start clumping like leaves on a wet street. After 50, your pancreas releases insulin nearly 25% slower than at 30, so the sugar sits in your blood longer, doing more damage. My grandfather would have only nodded. He would have said the orange is a gift, but the orange torn apart and bottled is no longer a gift. Dorothy, 74, a retired school teacher from Savannah, came to me with cold feet at night and tired legs by midday. She had been drinking a tall glass of orange juice every morning for 50 years. We replaced it with a whole orange and warm water with lemon. 8 weeks later, her fasting blood sugar had dropped by 22% and the cold in her feet had nearly gone. She said, "Brother Amadou, my mornings feel like mine again." The fix? Eat the fruit. Do not drink it. 1 whole orange. 1 whole apple. The fiber slows the sugar so your blood stays calm. If you love juice, squeeze half a lemon into warm water and start your day with that. Pair this with a handful of walnuts. The walnuts bring healthy fats that further steady your blood sugar. Now, before I give you the last 2 foods, I have to come back to what I told you at the beginning, because this is where so many folks get stuck. Cleaning up these foods is the foundation. It is most of the work. But remember what the researchers found. After 60, half of the good bacteria in your gut are already gone. And here is what they discovered next that almost no one talks about. 3 things must work together for the gut to truly come back. Probiotics, the living bacteria themselves. Prebiotics, the fiber that feeds them. And postbiotics, the healing compounds those bacteria create when they are thriving. The old ones called it seed, soil, and fruit. You cannot grow a garden with just seed. You need the soil to feed it and the fruit it produces to heal you. Most folks only get the first piece. They take a probiotic capsule. It is like planting seeds in dry dirt with no rain. I searched for almost 4 years to find something that carried all 3. I tried the capsules at the health food store. Most of my elders cannot stand swallowing pills anyway. They gag on them. They forget them. They give up. I tried powders shipped from overseas. I tried fermented drinks that lost their living bacteria on the shelf within weeks. None of them brought all 3 pieces together in a form my people would actually take every day. What I finally landed on for my elders is something called BoochBod. It is a kombucha gummy, not a pill, which matters because so many of my folks gag on capsules. It carries all 3 pieces in one small berry-flavored gummy. The probiotic strain is lactospore, which survives the stomach acid the way most probiotics do not. The postbiotic is one called Postbiotics LM1004, and it carries dandelion root, the same root my grandfather dug from the red earth behind our compound and steeped in hot water for the elders with heavy bellies. Over 30,000 folks are now using it. It comes with a 60-day guarantee, so if your body does not respond in 2 months, you get every dollar back. The link is in the description below this video. Robert, the postal worker I told you about, his legs only fully cleared when we added BoochBod to the food changes. Dorothy was the same. Her cold feet softened with the juice swap, but the warmth fully returned when her belly came back to life. The food gets you most of the way home. The bacteria do the rest. Always speak with your doctor before starting any supplement, especially if you are on medication. That is always my first word. Now let me give you the last 2 foods, because these are the ones doing the deepest damage. And if this channel has helped you so far, take 2 seconds and tap subscribe. So many folks tell me later they thought they had already done it and they had not. That is all I will ask. Number 2, store-bought salad dressing. The bottle of ranch, the Italian, the Caesar, the honey mustard. Folks pour this over their lettuce and feel virtuous. They had a salad. The lettuce is fine. The dressing is the problem. Read the label: soybean oil, high fructose corn syrup, monosodium glutamate, preservatives with names you cannot pronounce, and often more sugar than a slice of cake. This is an inflammation bomb dressed up as a health food. Imagine spraying gasoline on your nice green vegetables. That is the picture in your bloodstream after a salad with bottled dressing. The body responds to refined oils mixed with hidden sugar by releasing inflammatory messengers throughout the bloodstream. These messengers are like a fire alarm that will not shut off. Over weeks and months and years, the constant alarm wears down the artery walls. After 65, the body's natural anti-inflammatory hormones drop by about 35%, so there is less left to silence the fire. The grandmothers in my village made dressing with 3 things: olive oil, lemon juice, a pinch of salt, sometimes a crushed clove of garlic. They would have laughed at the bottles in the supermarket and asked why anyone would put factory chemicals on their food. The fix: 3 tablespoons olive oil, 1 tablespoon fresh lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, a pinch of sea salt, a pinch of black pepper, a small pinch of dried oregano if you want it. Whisk it 30 seconds. Pair it with fresh herbs on your salad, parsley or cilantro, both of which gently support the kidneys in clearing out the day's waste. And now, my brother, my sister, we arrive at the master food. Number 1, the food I see in nearly every American kitchen. The one folks have eaten 3 times a day their whole lives. The one nobody suspects. White bread and its cousins. White rolls, white pasta, white rice, bagels, crackers. Breakfast cereals dressed up as healthy. When wheat is stripped of its bran and germ to make white flour, what remains is almost pure starch. The body breaks it down into glucose within minutes. Faster than table sugar in many cases. Every sandwich, every plate of pasta, every bowl of cereal sends a sugar surge through your veins. Over time, this constant surging causes a process called glycation. Sugar molecules attach to proteins in your blood vessel walls and stiffen them. Soft leather slowly turning into dried cardboard. The arteries lose their give. They cannot expand and contract the way they need to. Blood flow drops. Legs feel heavy. Feet get cold. After 70, glycation accelerates and the body's repair system slow. What might have taken 30 years of damage in your 40s can take only 10 now. But here is what the researchers noticed and could not fully explain. When older adults swapped white grains for whole grains and added fermented foods that fed the gut bacteria, much of the arterial stiffening began to reverse within 18 months. The body wants to heal. You only have to stop pouring fuel on the fire. Eleanor, 78, a retired nurse from Flagstaff, came to me last spring. Her ankles swelled by evening. Her calves burned when she walked uphill. Her doctor had her on a water pill, a blood pressure medicine, and a statin. She thought she was eating modestly. 2 slices of toast every morning, a sandwich at lunch, pasta 3 nights a week. We replaced her white bread with sourdough from sprouted whole grains, 2 small slices a day instead of 4. We replaced her pasta with brown rice or quinoa twice a week instead of 3. The swelling reduced, but the swelling that would not fully leave her ankles only cleared after we added BoochBod and rebuilt her belly. 3 months in, she walked the farmer's market for 2 hours and her legs did not ache once. She told me with tears in her eyes, Brother Amadou, I have not done that in 15 years. The fix? Walk away from white bread, white pasta, white rice, bagels, the cereals dressed up as breakfast. Replace them with sourdough from whole grains, brown rice, quinoa, oats, lentils, beans. Half the portion you used to eat. Add a tablespoon of vinegar to a glass of water before your largest meal. The vinegar slows sugar absorption by nearly 30%. This is the biggest single food change you can make for your circulation after 50. Bigger than any pill in the cabinet. Speak with your doctor if you are diabetic or on medication for blood sugar, because this swap can lower your numbers quickly. After 45 years of watching what works for my people, let me share 3 quiet truths most folks never hear. First, the order of your plate matters. Eat your vegetables first, then your protein, then your starches last, if at all. This simple sequence lowers the sugar spike of the same meal by up to 40%. Same food, different order, different result. Second, walk after you eat. Not far, not fast. 10 minutes after lunch, 10 minutes after dinner. Your muscles act as a second pump for your blood when you move. My grandfather did this every evening. He lived to 94 and walked to the well until the week he died. Third, do not trust the label. The package says whole wheat. The second ingredient is enriched flour, which is white flour with a few vitamins sprayed back on. Read the first 3 ingredients. If they do not say 100% whole grain, put it back on the shelf. Let me lock this in. Number 5, the yellow factory oils replaced with olive oil and ghee. Number 4, the deli meat replaced with meat you roast yourself. Number 3, the morning juice replaced with whole fruit and lemon water. Number 2, the bottled dressing replaced with olive oil, lemon, salt, pepper. Number 1, the master food white bread and its cousins replaced with whole intact grains in smaller portions. 5 foods, 1 direction. Toward warmer feet, lighter legs, steadier mornings. My brother, my sister, listen to me now. What we are talking about today is not really about food. It is about the morning still ahead of you. The walk to the mailbox without that pulling weight. The Sunday dinner where you can play with your grandchildren on the floor and stand up after without grabbing the chair. The years of being present for the people who love you most. It is never too late. I have seen folks in their 70s, in their 80s, even one woman who came to me at 91, watch their bodies soften and warm and come back to life. The body remembers how to heal. It has been doing it since the day you were born. You only have to stop fighting it. The food on your plate is in your hands, but the bacteria in your belly are the bridge between the food and the healing. The food is the foundation. BoochBod is the piece your body cannot make on its own after 60. Tap the link in the description. Try it for 60 days. If your mornings do not feel different, you get every dollar back. That is my one ask of you today. The old ones are walking with you. Walk gently this week.